Hi, everybody. This is Dave with BTM Reviews. Sorry, I haven't been here in a few days. I've been out of town. But tonight, I want to talk about Eric July and his simps. So, I have no presence on X. I've got whatever. But I like to look around and see what people are saying, make my comments about what they're saying. And look, Eric July, like I said earlier before, I like the idea, but the actual outcome I don't like. And what he's become is not what I would ever support ever again. However, you know, somebody posts tonight on X, I respond, and the response is F you. So I respond, you sound like the SJWs that you're supposed to hate. Person has not responded. I wonder why. Because I called him out on his bullshit. Come on, guys. These people that are out here simping for Eric July are like all these white women that are simping for Black Lives Matter or DEI or whatever cause that they can come up with. And Eric July is the white man's cause. We have to support him because we have no other alternative. That's not true. Because Eric July hired a couple of women to work for him that do not have any values that Eric July has supposedly been promoting for years that he wants to get away from. The people that he hired are the people that have ruined DC and Marvel, in Eric's opinion. But his fucking followers, Jesus Christ, man. You can't have a conversation with those people, just like you can't have a conversation with a left-wing lunatic. I watch a video tonight of Eric July, and he doesn't want to bring politics into his comics, and he just wants to have a work environment that you have to perform. If you're not good, you can't be here. But if you're good, no matter your politics, well, that whole group, all of them, Gary, all of them accuses Marvel and DC of hiring people that have ruined their stories. Well, those girls ruined stories at that company too. And I gotta say, Eric is going to be bankrupt if he keeps making decisions like he's making. Paying for oversized warehouses, full-time staff of 12 to 18 people. The money runs out. He's not producing a book a month, and he's losing 33 to 60% per book. I've heard that this Yara book is his magnus opus. Well, what the fuck was Alpha Core? What the hell was ISOM 1 and 2? Just your get your feet in the water? Well, they were so bad that you've turned off 65% of your initial customer base. But man, I see on Twitter tonight, oh, I got my first Dyson book. And then you see it's going to be great. You'll love it. I bought the whole box. I didn't love it. And I sold that shit on eBay as soon as I got it because it was not good. But man, it's like a Disney fucking lunatic saying, yeah, that Peter Pan movie was great. Or, man, Buzz Lightyear 3 was fantastic. Or the Buzz Lightyear movie was fantastic. No, it wasn't. It wasn't good at all. So let's all go back to being honest with ourselves. You don't have to support it because you watch your favorite guys on YouTube. Just like the people that support the shit that we actually don't like new Disney or new Marvel. They don't have to write shit in their own how they think of themselves. And those people on the left don't have to support it because it's the right thing to do because they know the writers are on their side. They're not on your side. They don't give a shit about you. You think Eric July gives a shit about the people commenting about him on Twitter? He doesn't. He can't even have a conversation with me. 2 conversations with me over 2 weeks and he fucking blocks me? I'm not a millionaire like Aaron July. I'm just some guy. But no, he blocks me. I wasn't rude. I just told him to be better. That's all I said. Be better. His version of being better is making a video about having fun. You're 3 books in, dude. You're a 2-year-old company. If you have to remind yourself to have fun, you are fucked. Okay? If you got to convince yourself that that you need to have fun, it's over, Johnny. And then when you hire a couple of chicks that think that it's okay to trans kids and they have rights and all this stuff, that's going to just destroy your company, dude, because you don't have their moral. Maybe you do. And maybe his followers do too. Because those people on X are just as fucking gay as he is. So I got 2 bottles here. Same company. These are bottles made in DeKalb, Illinois. This is the Whiskey Acres Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is the Whiskey Acres Aged 7 Years Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Really not a whole bunch of difference in the color of these 2 bourbons. And the 7 year is a 107 proof. And the regular non-7 year is 107 proof. And the 7 year is 107 proof as well. I'm sorry. Let me start over. 117 proof, 7 years, 107 proof. So theoretically, one should not burn as much as the other. I never tried these bourbons. Never had an Illinois bourbon. But their story's kind of funny. You hold in your hand... Oh, let me get back to these X-fans for Eric July. They have the armor coating of any SJW out there. I mean, literally, the guy told me to fuck off after 2 tweets today, after 2 X's responses to him, and I wasn't even belligerent. I just said support better shit. Because his whole argument is, but he's made so much money. And I said back to him, Barbie made more money than any movie this year. Does that make it the best movie of the year? Because he's trying to say that, well, Eric gets his books out fast, and he still makes a ton of money, where all these guys that go online and ask for crowdfunding, well, their books are slower, blah, 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 and they don't make as much money. I actually think they make more money when you consider all the overhead that Eric has put on himself with his warehouse and his full-time staff. If you're going to go for actual profit per book, I think these guys online that are promoting themselves and getting people to support them in the actual indie way or Iron Age way, they make more money than Eric. Eric's fucking broke. He won't admit it, but there's a reason he still has a YouTube channel, because that's his income for living. Sorry, he's just not with all that overhead, and he's paying people like Chuck Dixon to come in and write his book. That's not cheap. At least I will say one thing. Alpha Core actually had art. It didn't have 3D assets from some free program like ISOM 1 and 2 did. But Jesus Christ. Poor Chuck Dixon. He has to write a book about some characters that are so unlikable. It's hard to make them likable. So I opened up this regular straight bourbon Whiskey Acres. Not the 7-year. Maybe I'll do that later. But so I wonder what you guys think about all of this stuff. I got hooked into As. I got hooked into Nerdrotic. I got hooked into Critical Drinker. I got hooked into Disbrew, which I still like. Because of the same reason everybody else does that watches those guys. It's because, we're like, man, something's wrong with what I'm watching on TV. It's just, there's something wrong. And, when you watch those guys, 6 months ago, 2 months ago, or 6 months ago, before Eric hired the Sosker sisters, you think Az would have made a comment like he did the other day about your politics don't matter, just write good books? No, he wouldn't have, because he has on his show are people like Graham Nolan, Chuck Dixon, people that have a good moral set of values. And now all of a sudden, Az has a show with Eric. The Soska sisters come on a show, and he makes a comment like that. It's like, dude, man, next thing you know, all these people that we watched and followed, and they're gonna, and all these people on Twitter, they gotta get the fuck out of the goddamn minds. All they want is your money, man. They want your views, not your physical cash. They want your views. They want your likes, because it makes them money, and that's great. That's what they're all doing. And I'll never get to that level, to where I make money on YouTube. But at least I have fun talking on YouTube. Let me try this. Okay, let's get back to this Whiskey Acres Distilling Company, straight bourbon whiskey, DeKalb, Illinois. Farm crafted whiskey. Well, that's pretty damn good. Farm crafted. Let's hear their story. You hold in your hand a true American spirit, a wheated bourbon that's more than handcrafted. It's farm crafted. Every drop begins as a seed that we plant on our best soils. We distill only the finest grain on our 5th generation family farm, using naturally filtered water from the limestone aquifer beneath our homestead. Well, man, I might have to go check this place out. The result is a finer quality bourbon with aromas of vanilla, toffee, and orange peel, and flavors of cornbread, honey, and candied fruit. Like a fruitcake? Proudly grown from seed to spirit. Non-chilled filtered. ADI certified farm distillery. Great whiskey isn't made, it's grown. For tours and tastings, visit whiskeyacres.com. Now this one says it's aged at least 4 years. Okay, so when I first got into this bourbon thing, the thing I was told is that age does matter. So, I've got the 4 year, at least 4 year, and I've got a age 7 years specifically. So Makes you wonder, since I do have these two brother and sister bottles from the same company, if there's going to be a difference. So, I should have smelled it first. I want to smell toffee and whatever the hell they were talking about. Well, actually, they're not full of crap. So, do you think that people online that they're always selling product, right? They get big enough, you got the quartering selling coffee and fucking emailing you 5 times a day for everything he puts out there. You got Yellow Flash. Now he's a comic book artist. He's a comic book fan. There's no doubt about that. But it doesn't mean you're a comic book artist. And you don't need to ask more from the people that are following you on a daily basis on YouTube. Eric July, his whole gimmick was, I'm going to argue with everybody about everything. And he can get on a stream and he can and make people sound stupid, he wins. And that's how he got his following. Okay, but now he's a businessman, and he's not going to play these games anymore. Then close your fucking YouTube channel and go make comics. But you can't do that, dude, because if you're not on YouTube, you ain't selling in stores, and if they don't know you're making it, they're not going to buy it. So quit talking bullshit, and all his followers need to quit talking bullshit too, because the day Eric July goes off YouTube, they're going to the next guy. They don't love Eric. They love supporting that community. But at $35 a book, he wanted to charge $100 a month membership, and then he dropped the price. Who's paying for that? My God. Even Apple doesn't ask you that much money for their Apple Music every month. And you get access to every album on their goddamn server. Just like Google, same thing. They don't charge you $50 a month. Who the hell is Eric July to charge anybody anything on a monthly basis? And I would ask yourself, guys, why do you think he didn't crowdfund? It's real easy to say how much you've made. It's really easy to say that if you're not crowdfunding. At least if they crowdfund, they are visible. Everybody can see what the comic books made. Do we know that ISO #1 made as much as it did? Do we know that Alpha Core made as much as it did? No, we just know what Eric says. But we also know that, people are willing to wait till the book goes to $5 3 months later to pay for it. So are those real fans? No. They're full of shit. They're SJWs in reverse. They're the male version of white women supporting Black Lives Matter. Because they don't feel like they have another place to go. Focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Don't support that shit. You don't have to support anybody. You can enjoy their content. Man, we watched TV forever. And they played advertisements. But the star of the show wasn't coming on after the show and saying, go to my website and buy my t-shirts. Buy my comic. Buy my whatever. It wasn't a thing. But now YouTube has made it a whole different game. And we get sucked in. Oh, the passion. Oh my God, he's so right. I gotta buy this thing. We gotta stick it to these mother effers. And you get it, and you throw it in a drawer, and you forget you even own it. I'm no better. I buy bullshit all the time. Like this stuff over here. Never gonna open this. I'm never gonna open this. My wife put together the Lego Nintendo set, but this box here of the Outer Limits, I'm not gonna open that box. I'm not gonna open this one of 50 box of this. Do I need it? No, but I love it, so I wanted it. But we're buying stuff from people that are creating stuff today because of passion, not because of logic. And Eric July's and Yellow Flash's followers, I don't follow that stuff as close as Eric July, but he did piss me off last week, just blocking people, having a live stream with members only available in the chat only. Come on, man. Dude, first of all, this shit don't matter. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Only person that cares is you. And when you start blocking the chat and making it a members only chat, you're the laughing stock of the whole group that you're involved in. At least Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers is like, chickens in the chat? Whatever, man. We're not going to block these people. Because it's the internet. If I get slammed on this video, I don't care. If I get likes on this video, that's great. I don't care. If 8 people watch it, that's great. If 1,000 people watch it, but holy shit, 1,000 people watch my video? That's awesome. Let me taste this now. After I smelled it. This is the at least 4-year bottle. It's not my favorite. It's almost like it's, I don't know. Let me take a swig of water. Nah, I'm not impressed. Might give it to my son. It's I don't know. There's just not that bourbon thing that you love in a bourbon. It's alcohol. Yeah, that's what it is. It's alcohol. But one of my favorite brands is Barrel. They're not a Kentucky bourbon, but it's fantastic. But I really love a Kentucky bourbon called Rabbit Hole, and the bottle I like is Derringer. And I'm going to buy one, and I'm going to review it. Yeah, but this is just, it's just whatever. It's okay. So anyway, guys, this is a little longer than it needed to be. I just want to talk to anybody that watches this. Get on Twitter, or X, get all these Eric July simps to stop simping for him. He's got an army of simps, but they don't know what they're simping for. Save them from themselves. Save them from spending that $150 for the next book because you're just going to buy the book. They got to get the book and the t-shirt and the fucking stickers or whatever comes with it. And they're going to be let down. So yeah, do your diligence and save these people from themselves. And please, like and subscribe. leave a comment. I will respond, good or bad. And I appreciate anybody that watches. And I will not be gone 4 or 5 days the next time. Again, just out of town for a few days doing my job. So again, like and subscribe. This is Dave from BTM Reviews. And have a good night.